It's going to be a minute.
Call in by clicking the link in the stream's description. The professor wants to hear from you.
Beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul, good karma.
Yeah. Woo! Woke up with a vision, it's Professor Bear's day. Ruling the game, coming hard, paving his way. Thoughtful and smart, yeah, the wisdom of math. In a world full of shadows, he's breaking the cap.
Welcome, welcome, and welcome. And thank you once again for joining me. I'm Professor Burr, and this is A Burr's Thought. And today's sponsor is Chops Trading and Trading Cards and Print-On Designs. Yes, they are so fabulous. If you are in need, if you just so happen to have a promotion and want to put out trading cards of your professional wrestlers, why not use the best in the independent game? That's Chops Trading Cards. And since you're listening to the professor is going to help you. You can get 15% off all of your purchase. Yes, that's right, 15%. Just use Bear 15 and you will get 15% off. That's once again Chops Trading Cards and Print-On Designs, #1 in trading cards. Now, today I am very, very, very blessed and humble to have a real good person with me. He helps run the Wrestling Evolution. He is Tim Dixon. Tim, how are you doing today, sir?
I am doing great. I'm glad to be here in the presence of a man of higher learning, the professor, right here on the Wrestling Society Network.
I appreciate you, but I am the man that's humble to having you because we have talked for a long while now. We've been doing business together, but I just feel that a lot of people are some great wrestling action because I don't think a lot of people know that North Carolina has one of the best wrestling promotions out there.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
So, won't you help my audience by telling them about the promotion, sir?
Okay, I work for Wrestling Evolution. We are based in currently we're running shows in Denver, North Carolina, which is in the Charlotte area. We are getting ready to expand into new markets. We've got a couple of new venues lined up in the coming months. But currently we've been running for 2 years. Actually, Saturday we had our second anniversary show. We chose the name Wrestling Evolution for a very distinct reason. We want to um, evolve with the business as it goes, and we want to be able to bring a new kind of energy and entertainment to wrestling fans. We've produced a YouTube show called Wrestling Evolution Aggression. For the past 2 years, we are up to episode 60. It is available on YouTube. It's available on the Wrestling Society Network, and we thank you for that. And also a streaming service called Ratty Plus, that used to be called Radiant Technology, but they've changed the name to Ratty Plus. So that is, I am the play-by-play announcer for Wrestling Evolution Aggression. I'm also the executive producer of the show. I take care of all the editing. I get it all ready to go, and really, I take care of a lot of the production that you see in the live show for Wrestling Evolution. I have a background. I worked for 17 years in local television, so I have a lot of background as far as editing and voice work, and um, also have worked a lot with stage lighting. So when you see our stage show, you see the lights that I have programmed there. That is the stuff that I'll do. I do to give ourselves a different look. Um, we like to up the production value and give people, because people are now more used to, if you're watching AEW or you're watching WWE, you're used to that production value. You're used to being to kind of being wowed by the entrance videos and the light shows. And so we try to bring a little bit of that, rather than having just a wrestling show that's under fluorescent lights in a gym. We try to bring a little bit of that show to it. So we try to we put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it.
And it's definitely noticeable. I mean, um, many of times watching uh, the shows, I always think to myself, it's like, wow, the production value is top notch. The wrestling value is top notch, and that's what I love to see, especially for indie promotion. That a lot of times people have the misconception that just because you're an indie promotion that you're small time and you have to do it a certain way. And I'm very glad and honored that y'all put your heart and souls into it, because it's definitely noticeable.
That is actually, that now that you mentioned that, that is something that we always say. It's not just indie wrestling, it's professional wrestling. And we take that very seriously. And I mean, like I said, this past Saturday was our second anniversary show. So I jumped in the ring and got the ring mic and did a little a talk to people to tell them that, and that um to promise them that, okay, a lot of things have changed since we started 2 years ago, but one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best show. The From the time that you pay your money to come through that door, you're going to get the best show that you can. And we strive to do that every time. You mentioned our talent. We strive to get the best talent that we can. We've pulled from all over the Southeast for talent, and we feel like we have one of the best rosters out there.
I definitely agree, and not just because we're having an interview, but I'm blessed to get to watch a lot of your shows, so I actually see, and I'm very blessed to get a chance to go and look at a lot of different indie shows. So I really do appreciate what y'all put on and the effort and everything. Um, it For me, it puts me back into a time. Anybody who's seen any of my interviews or any knows anything about me, I'm a I was born in the 70s, so I'm an 80s kid. I grew up with the NWA, and I mean, World Championship Wrestling. It may have been a studio production, but for the time, that quality was so amazing, and it helped make whatever was going on with the storytelling that much better to me. And to see that evolution is such a great thing. I mean, I love it, and I'm so thankful and blessed that I'm not the only one that sees that, and that y'all put on such, again, great production work and everything. I love it.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. It's good to hear that because um, when you put a lot of love into it like that, uh, a lot of times you're just head down. Let's keep going. Let's just keep going and keep concentrating on it. But it's good sometimes. You have to sit back and look upon what you've done and actually appreciate it. And any good words I get back about it, any feedback I get it back about it is great. I love it.
So you said you brought up the 2-year anniversary. So can
Mhm.
you tell us a little bit about your champions and what's going on in Wrestling Evolution?
Okay, our main champion, our Wrestling Evolution champion, is and I have to say it this way, it's the Dante Khalifa. I have to put some stank on that name, or else I will get in trouble with him. He is one of the I feel like he's one of the best young talents out in the Carolinas and in the Southeast. He uh, honestly he hasn't been in the business that long, but you wouldn't be able to tell it by watching him. He is an incredible talent. He is one of those guys that when you are or you're recording a promo, and I've done both. I've actually ran the camera recording one of his promos, and I've been standing there with the microphone interviewing him. And in both cases, you can tell when you have something special. And he gives you that feeling all the time. He will and thank you for that cowboy Bob. Um he gives you that feeling. He has that it factor, and I think he is going to have an incredible future in the business. He's fairly young in the business, but he has that it factor. So Dante Khalifa is our Wrestling Evolution champion. Our legacy champion is our secondary title. That is Justin Kindred Allen. That is Justin is a kid who, and sorry, I hate to keep saying kid, but I'm like you, Professor. I was born in the '70s, so I'm a lot older than most of these guys. So they are all kids to me. Um, but Justin is one of those guys who is going to give you 120% every time he goes in there. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's going to go in there and he's going to give you everything. He is a member of a family that we have in Wrestling Evolution, the Allen family, or Allentown is what they call themselves. It is four guys, Robert and Steve. They're a tag team. They were our first ever Wrestling Evolution tag team champions. Then there's Mason Allen, who was the legacy champion for over a year. Then Justin Kindred Allen. I don't want to say this, but it's kind of the truth. Almost the runt of the family. He uh, had a time where he was really having trouble with his brothers and being a little abused by his brothers, and he finally stood up and he faced off with Mason, and he won that legacy championship from his brother Mason Allen after Mason had been undefeated and held that title for over a year. So that is something that is to me that is probably the most special moment we've ever had in Wrestling Evolution so far, when he finally believed himself to stand up to his brothers and kind of push back against the bullying. And he finally, even when he didn't believe he could do it, he won that belt. And if you watch that episode, I don't remember the episode number, but if you watch that episode, he wins and he rolls over and he holds up the belt and he goes, "I did it." And you can hear the emotion in my voice. You can hear my voice catch. And that wasn't made up. That was real. And the crowd was going insane the whole time. Part of it is because they really hate Mason. So they just wanted to see him lose. But a big part of it was Justin. And they wanted to, because everybody has little bit of a thing where you feel like you're picked on, and he became that for this crowd. And when he finally persevered and he finally got over on Mason to win the championship, it was a very, very special moment. And then our tag team champions, our current tag team champions, is a team called the Zenith, J.R. Miller and Tevin D. Turner, TDT, and their manager is Ben Grayson. They are, um, we have a fairly short list of past champions. Our Wrestling Evolution champion, Dante, is only the third champion in our history. The Legacy champion, there's been 4, and the tag team champions 3. So we have a fairly short title history because stepping um, outside of kayfabe, um, we're not just switching the belts quickly. We want people to get invested, and if we put a belt on somebody, it's going to stay there for a while, and we want people to get invested in them. So because that is one thing that we do. We like to do more in-depth stories. We have several stories that have played out over a year in planning and booking. And I see a Man Cave Sessions. That is Sean Lampton. He is our we call him our CFO. He's our chief fun officer. He does a lot of segments in the crowd with the kids, and he gets a lot of excitement going in the crowd. And I can't. You mentioned champs. I have to also mention the damn boss, CEO Tim Wilcox. If you've watched our show, or when you watch our show, because I know you will, you'll see the damn boss come out. And we call him that because he screams it all the time, that he is the damn boss. He is the perfect evil figurehead. He is the owner and promoter of Wrestling Evolution, and he's somebody that I've known for 20 years this year. So
Wow.
he and I have known each other for a long time. He started this promotion. I found he was going to start this promotion up, and I basically just hit him up and said, "Listen, if you need some help, I'm perfectly willing to be there and to help out. And if not, I'll buy a ticket and I'll be in the crowd." But we just started talking, and it kind of rolled from there, and it evolved into what it is now.
All right. So, with that being said, tell us about your background in wrestling, when you became a fan, just again your background.
Well, I grew up again. We're in the Charlotte area, so I grew up here. I grew up in the uh, direct middle of the NWA because Jim Crockett Promotions at the time was the biggest promotion in the NWA. And so I grew up watching Crockett Promotions from Charlotte. I remember I don't remember if it was I don't know if it was the first memory I have of watching wrestling on TV, but I distinctly remember before the Tully Blanchard Magnum TA I Quit match when Tully attacked Magnum in the studio, and I think it was when Magnum kissed Baby Doll, and
Yes.
Tully hit him like a truck, and then they're fighting in the floor. The camera's right on them, and so they are laying the punches in big time. That's one of my most distinct memories from my childhood. I remember that like it was yesterday, and sitting there as an 8-year-old kid watching it, just going nuts. That is some of my best memories. That's when I became a fan. I kind of fell out of it for a while, and then got back into it in the Attitude Era, um, and then actually got into the business in 2005 because I wanted to do a show to raise money for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. So I was watching a local promotion that was running in the Charlotte area, and they had a little ad that said, if you want to raise money for your nonprofit, give us a call. So I thought, yeah, that's a great idea. So I I gave them a call. I never got a call back, and I realized after the fact they were in the process of going out of business, and that's the reason I never got a call
Oh,
back.
dang.
Um, but I decided that I wanted to go ahead and do it. I had a couple people that I knew that were in the business. I knew someone who knew the Barbarian, who still lives in Charlotte. So I thought, you know what? I can do it. I'll just do it myself. Stupid, but uh, in that first show, it was I met some of the best people that I still know in the business today. Um, Barbarian, anytime he sees me, he still asks me if I work at the TV station. He still remembers that from 20 years ago, that I
Wow.
worked at the TV station. Um, uh, on that show was Tim Wilcox, the CEO of Wrestling Evolution. That's where we met. When I was planning for that show, I was going to different local promotions looking for wrestlers, and he was one of the ones that I saw. And so he was on that first show, wrestling under the name Sir Jonathan Buffet. Um, and it's still I still call him Buffett every once in a while, just because it's old habit. Um, but that was the first show that I ever did. Um, and then I started ring announcing in some places. I started doing play by play in some places, and have done a little bit of everything. I've managed people, I've ran shows, I've done play by play, I've done ring announcing. I think the only thing I haven't actually done is wrestled in a match. I've done everything else, but and I have been hit by a chair thanks to the guys in Wrestling Evolution. So
Hey,
that's
that
no fun.
is amazing. It is that is like you lived out my dream that I always wanted to be in wrestling and never got the chance. But life has its way of bringing you to your dreams sometime.
Mhm.
Um, so with you doing all that in the wrestling business, what is your most favorite thing to do and your least favorite thing to do?
My most favorite thing is doing the play by play, because from the time I was a kid, I've been a writer, and I love to tell stories. And that's what I do. That's what I go in there and I help the guys in the ring tell their story. And so that is the most fun for me. That's where I put a lot of my passion into, is helping tell that story, and being able to be on the booking committee for Wrestling Evolution, and uh, come up with the storylines. Like I said, we have a lot of long term storytelling. That's what we pride ourselves on, and coming up with those storylines and the beats that you're going to hit in the story along the way. That is what I really get the most pleasure out of, going through. The least favorite is setting everything up. I get there at 9 o'clock in the morning on a show day to set all this stuff up, and then we're there until at least midnight that night. Breaking if when we get done with the show, then we got to break everything down, just to get out of there. That's the least favorite part of it. But it
Uh,
far
uh,
the best part of it far outweighs the bad part of it.
I would definitely say so. And this may be just crazy from my point because I haven't ever had a chance to do any of it. But I think if I were able to, at least a few times, I would love to be there to help set up. just for the love of the business that I have,
Mhm.
I would love to say, hey, I helped create this. I helped to put the canvas together for these
Mhm.
guys to paint their picture.
Absolutely, that's the best way to put it, I think. Yeah, you're putting the canvas there for them to paint the picture. That is, it 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 is definitely an art form. These guys are using their body to tell stories, and that way, and I think that is I think you absolutely should, if you have a chance, go and help set up because it gives you a completely different, um, perspective on it, because when you see everything that goes into it, and yeah, the ring is the most important part, but that's only one part of it. Do you have the entryway? You have the sound that has to get set up and make sure it sounds good. You have the lights. If you're a spot like us, we pride ourselves on our production, so that production takes a lot to so to see everything that goes into it. And we have a dedicated group of people who come and help. Some of them are fans. They show up to help us set up, and then that night they're in the front row cheering their favorites and booing the villains. So they come to just to help us to help put the show on. And it's great to have. I mean, our fans are incredible. Um, we have consistently um, we've consistently drawn between 250 and 300
Oh wow.
almost our entire time. And for indie wrestling, that's incredible.
Yeah, yes,
That's
it
incredible.
is. And not even just for indie, I will say, because anytime you have a dedicated fan base that continuously shows that love and respect for what you're doing, that says so much for you as a company. So I would be very I would be a jerk if I did not ask you this question. You said it yourself. You loved, you're a writer. You love telling the story. So, who is your all-time favorite announcer?
Oh, Jim Ross, without question. That his work with Jerry Lawler on Raw, um, I feel like it was the pinnacle of wrestling announcing. They and again I go back to the storytelling. That's what they did, and that's what I mean. I soak that in when you're watching and when you're seeing this. Even though that was years before I even thought about doing play-by-play announcing, but I was soaking that in. What JR was doing, how he was doing it, when he would just shut the hell up and let the moment breathe. There's times that you need to do that. Um, I mean, it's something that you can't just fall into it, and that does kind of bug me. Sometimes guys will be like, "Oh yeah, I want to come out there with you on commentary." It's not that easy. You might think it is, but it's not. It's something that you have to work at, and you can't just plop down in a chair and do. You have to work at it. Um, but yeah, without question, I feel like the best announcer in wrestling history is Jim Ross. Now, overall, I would say Vin Scully, the play-by-play for the Dodgers for a long time. Now, I might be a little biased, but um, he is a guy that I listen to call games, and him again to paint that picture that even if you're not in the stadium that day, he knew how to tell a story and paint that picture, and that's something that I pride myself on too. So
Um, when I listen to you announce, the feel I get from you is Gordon Soley.
Oh, thank you. That's
And, and I knew you would take that as a big compliment because it is. Um, as you were saying, when you're an announcer, you have to be able to help tell the story for the wrestlers, and not just the wrestler, for the casual fans that know
mm,
things, but also the fans that have no idea what they're watching. And for
mhm.
me, a lot of things I heard you be able to break down a move, and immediately it's like, that's Gordon right there. That is, he has to looked at some Gordon Soley, because Gordon was so good at, I mean, even moves that were so simplistic, he could tell it in such a way that sold it, that made it the most tremendous thing ever. And I get that from you a lot.
Oh, thank I am incredibly humbled to hear you say that because that, yeah, Gordon Sully is probably, Jim Ross is number 1. I'd say, Gordon Sully is number 2. I mean, he was and if you ask Jim Ross who's number 1, it's Gordon Sully.
Right.
So, I mean, that is an incredible, compliment, and I take it as that, and I appreciate that. But it is, um, that is something I think that is very important when you're calling matches. It is describing, like you said, describing what they're doing, and more importantly, why they're doing it. If they're working on a certain body part, you have to point out that's what they're doing. They're trying to set up for their finish maneuver. It's stuff like that that you have to, like you said, the casual fans, they don't know that. Bash Caliban, one of our wrestlers, they don't know that his finishing move is a stunner. So when he's working on the neck, or he's working to wear somebody down, I have to tell him that's what he's doing, and that's where he's leading to, because that's where, uh, if that's where the story's going to, we need to lead them to that direction. So when the payoff happens, it's there, and they're right there with you.
Exactly. One of the another thing that, for me, being a old school wrestling fan, I think one of the best things now that indie wrestling has progressed back to tradi- um what's the word I'm looking for? I'm kind of blank. To the territory days.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is, you can go into so many different territories, and you have 4 or 5 different promotions, and each promotion has a different feel and a different thing, where it's not the same.
Mhm.
And it's, I love that to for a fact, because now you have so many good ways of watching it. So just to say, hey, I remember growing up, Portland wrestling was big. Well, I couldn't see it because I'm in Tennessee, but now we have YouTube, we have
Mhm.
your streaming services, and so many different platforms where a lot of people can get their work off. People can see them, and they can grow in different places to learn craft. And I think it's just so tremendous now that
Is Yeah, that is a great point, and that is, I mean, we have, I look at the stats on YouTube, and we have people, watching from the UK. We had a guy there for a while who would comment on, a video every once in a while as our number 1 UK fan, and that just blows my mind that we're producing our show in a little place in Denver, North Carolina, and somebody is watching it in the UK. Watching and enjoying it. It's awesome. We've had fans who came in that said they drove 2.5 hours to get to the show because they had watched it on YouTube and they wanted to come see it live. So I mean, like you said before, if you weren't in that territory and you didn't watch the TV, you didn't get to see it. So now we're in a really great time that you can really check out indie wrestling from anywhere at any time. And these guys also at the same time, they have such a benefit with this because they can take that. Almost every promotion has at least one camera that they set up to record the show. So they when they do these matches, they can take that recording and they can give it to somebody. I mean, not to blow our own horn, but um, Lucky Ali, who is now Shaquan Sugars in NXT, one of his last indie matches was with us. And Jackson Drake and Shawn Legacy, before they were WWE ID, they were with us, and they both sent that match that they did with us in. And then I'm not saying that they got signed because of us, but if you can have something like that to where the WWE doesn't have to come travel to watch you, and you can give them something like that, a production to look at, then it makes it easier for these guys to move up and to get into a larger promotion. And that is it's a great thing.
Oh yeah. Another thing that I love about your promotion is
There's senior referee Josh Cash.
hey,
Like
you
I
know
said,
what?
that's our saying. It's not indie wrestling; it's professional wrestling.
You know what? I need to learn how to say that. I really do, because it is professional wrestling. And
Mhm.
one of the things I hear all the time is professional wrestling the way you used to love it. And
Mm.
they're not lying. That's the way I loved it.
Oh,
And
I'm going to tell you straight up. I might have to steal that. We might have to use that in some of our material because that's a good line. It's professional wrestling that you used to the way you used to love it, and that's the case. It's not when we put together our cards. It's not just a bunch of guys throwing it because I've worked at shows before that had no idea what the card was when we walked in the door. I'm at there as a ring announcer and I'm trying to get my information together. Say, okay, well, looking at the promoter. Okay, what's the card? What's the match order? I don't know. We'll have to see who gets here. I can't work like that, and I didn't work for him very long because I was like, I can't do that. And so when we put together our cards, I mean, we have it booked. We have all the cards booked through September right now. And we're looking at going, oh, we need to get catch up because we're usually a farther ahead than that. But when we put those cards together, it's with very much a plan in mind. We know where we know where we're going, and we work backwards from there.
and see again, that to me is such a grateful. It goes back to it's wrestling. And not to knock any other promotions that do it their way, but I'm more of a professional wrestling fan than a wrestling entertainment fan. And the work shows, the in-ring shows when you put the time and effort into something. It definitely shows, and it shows with your fan base because they're loving it. They stay with it. If they miss a week, they're freaking out because they're trying to catch up before they see the next. So again, it speaks highly of the promotion. So with that being said, and this is something that just popped in my head. And there was a time where promotions work together. And in my head now, I'm just sitting here thinking, wouldn't that be such an amazing thing to have, I don't know, 4 to 8 promotions do a tournament with their champions and have it on a big card, and let's say the winner of that tournament gets a NWA world title shot?
Is a discussion that comes up all the time. And it's one of those that you just chalk up to, yeah, that would be great. It ain't ever going to happen.
You know,
There's far too many egos involved. There's the only reason the NWA worked is because it was so segmented. If you were in Portland, you were in Portland. If you were in world class in Texas, you were in Texas, and that's it. And the never the twain shall meet. And when you had done your time in Portland and you kind of worked all the stories you could, you left and you went to Texas. You had a whole new crowd to work with, and then Portland can kind of cool off. But then when you come back, it's a big deal. The problem now is because everything is so open, anybody can work anywhere. You can't even say, like, even if we wanted to say do a super tournament like that in the Carolinas, um, the guys work at a bunch of different places. So how can you say a Wrestling Evolution match is a Wrestling Evolution match when those guys that we would put in there also work for other promotions as well? So
makes sense.
and then on top of that, like I said, with the egos of the promoters of the different promotions, that's really going to stop it from happening because when you get into, okay, we're going to do a super show. All right, who's booking it? Who wins? Who's stacking the card? Well, I want our car. Of course, I want ours to be the main event. This guy over here doesn't. So then you've got this working through, and it just, I mean, people have tried it before, specifically in the Carolinas. That's where I know about, but um, people have tried it before, and it just doesn't work. I hate to be. I mean, you, the more you know me, the more you'll you'll see I am a very, very positive guy. I always look on the bright side of things because that's just the way I want to live. I don't life's too short to be negative. But I'm very realistic about that. It would be great, but it ain't ever happening.
uh, you the I would say this, and then we'll get off the subject. The one thing that I've learned in my 51 years on this earth is never say never. When you think the most craziest thing will never work, sometimes it happens and it's like, that's crazy.
All right, that's Josh, stop it. That's an inside joke. Stop it. And
So,
that was funny to like 4 people, and for everybody else, sorry.
so where where is the future of wrestling elevation? Evolution going?
Evolution.
What is the future holds for it?
That is the beautiful part is, I mean, we live up to the name. We are constantly evolving. We are really starting to embark on a um, uh, path to make make it more of an experience. We use several hashtags when we do stuff, and our website is witnesstheevolution.com. So we use those hashtags: witness the evolution, join the evolution, um, believe in the evolution. There's one more I'm forgetting. Uh, and experience the evolution, and that's the way we look at it. We want to make this an experience. So like I said, Sean is our chief fun officer. That's a big thing we're pushing now. We're taking a lot of cues from the Savannah Bananas. They do a lot of things that bring the crowd into it and make it more of an experience, that when you leave, especially the kids, so when they leave, they're talking about it for the entire rest of the week. And we've got plans to really start to do more of that. We're branching out into new venues. We have been running in Denver, North Carolina, at a place called the Cross Country Campground. It's a little playhouse. It's actually a playhouse there at the campground. Um, that building has some limitations. The ceiling is too low. It's so low that they can stand in the ring and jump up and grab the rafters. So it limits you with what you can do off the top rope, which is nothing. They can't get up on the top rope. Um, so we're looking to new venues to branch out into that. But we're always looking to evolve. That is, like I said, we live up to the name. We're making um, we're making strides in every way we can, any way um, we can see to do things better. We're always open to feedback from the fans, from the wrestlers, from anybody who watches or comes to the show. We're always open to feedback, how to make this better. If you go back, I don't I don't suggest it a lot because watching some of these first episodes make me cringe. But if you go back to episode 1 of Wrestling Evolution Aggression and watch that, you can see a very stark difference from then until now. Uh, and so you can see that evolution as we go along, and we're going to continue to evolve. And I know what we have planned, but honestly, it's hard to say what the future is because things happen and things crop up, and we find opportunities where we find them, and we go with what we have. So that's something that you can have your plan, but you have to be open to changes as they come.
Definitely, definitely. Well, Tim, man, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to join me tonight. It's been really my pleasure. Um, I thank you for being open to dealing with WSN when a lot of people were just like, yeah, whatever, and moving on.
Oh, we appreciate you wanting to have us on the platform, and any way we can get the word out about Wrestling Evolution, and the more eyes that get on it, the more people that see it, the better. And that's the whole point. So we thank you for having us on there.
And definitely, I told you earlier in the year that my plan is to come over. Well, I've had a few
Mhm.
things pop up. I still am planning to come over and watch live. And
Awesome.
man, I appreciate you, and I appreciate everything y'all are doing. And man, just keep growing, and I hope success continues your way.
Awesome. I appreciate it. And that, yeah, anytime you want to come down, you let me know. If you go to witnesstheevolution.com, we have an events page on there that shows the dates for the rest of the year. And we've got next year planned out, but we'll be posting them as we get closer to next year. We'll be posting those, but you can get all the information you need from either witnesstheevolution.com or the Wrestling Evolution LLC Facebook page.
Definitely. Guys, girls, please make sure y'all go and support Wrestling Evolution. If you have not watched it, take the time to watch it. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. It is very great action. Um, I want to thank everyone again for joining me. Um, I have to say this because my producer will kick my butt if I don't. July 12th, we are having a great, great, great Hall of Fame legacy. It's great, and it's not because I'm on it. That's the down part. But the great part about it is all these great men and women are being put into the Hall of Fame. And if you're in the Kentucky area, please, please, please come check us out. We are going to be there Saturday, July 12th. We're going to be in Somerset, Kentucky. Please come. And hey, if you do come say hi to Professor Bear. So again, once again, this is Professor Bear. This has been a Bear's Thought, and we will see you on the next Go Around to the Forest. Thank you very much.